All right, hey, Math 31. So what we're going to work on is something called higher derivatives. This isn't actually any harder than the other work. The only difference is it's going to be longer. So what we mean by this is that what we're going to be doing is taking these different order derivatives. What can I slide down? 1 minute. I got a weird thing happen. All right. What I mean by that is we're going to have something called first order derivatives, second order derivatives, third order derivatives, fourth order derivatives. All that means is you got to take the derivative of the derivative of the derivative however many times it asks for. So what I mean by that, so find the derivatives of, let's say, this first one. So f of x prime, so the derivative of this function would just be 15x to the 4, right? So f to the second order derivative, or f prime or double prime, would just be taking the derivative of this one I just took the derivative of. So 60x to the 3. And you can kind of see where this is going. You just keep on taking the derivative of the derivative. First order is just a single derivative. The second, taking the derivative of the derivative. Third is taking the derivative of the derivative of the derivative. Okay. I think I said that right. So doing some examples here. I'm going to start on 4. Make it a little bit tougher. This one's asking for the second order derivative because it's f prime prime or double prime. So what we got to do first here is, or what I'm going to do is a chain rule. This is going to be the easiest way to do this one. So the chain rule, if I was going to find f prime of x, and it says find f of 1, so we got to find f of x, double prime of x, and then just put 1 into it. So the first one, though, is going to be equal to, so I need to take the derivative of the outside, so like the outside bracket part is my first part of the chain rule, right? Chain rule. So that's going to be 10 out front, bracket, and then keep the original inside function the same, so 2 minus x squared. This now becomes 9, and now I'm going to multiply by the derivative of the inside. So that becomes, well, derivative of the 2 was 0, so then just minus 2x. If you simplify that, this turns into minus 20x, just the 2 and the 10, right? And then just put this back in brackets, 2 minus x squared to the power of 9. So that's my first order derivative. So we figured that out. Now we got to figure out our second order derivative. So now it's like we just have a brand new problem. We've got this part would be considered my f, I guess, and this would be considered my g. We need to do the product rule. So you guys were asking me why would we do the product rule when it's so much easier to factor stuff in? Well, or to actually, use the distributive property. This 9 is kind of the problem here, right? I don't want to expand this thing 9 times, so that's why the product rule is easier in this case. So what we're gonna do is okay, so just for the sake of time, I ended up writing down what the product rule was to find f double prime, or the second order derivative. So that's just the equation, right, in green there. And then I wrote down f is equal to, so that's f, right? And then the derivative of f is minus 20. G, just right from this, is 2 minus x squared to the 9. I didn't do g prime yet because I just want to make sure that you guys watch me do this. So g prime, so the derivative of the function g there. We have to do the chain rule, right? We've got an exponent there, so we've got that's going to be a long one. It's going to be 9, 2 minus x squared to the 8, and then you have to multiply by the derivative of the inside, so that inside function. So that's going to be multiplied by, again, the derivative of 2 was 0, so it just turns into 0 minus, so I'm just going to put a minus, and then 2x. Now if you simplify that, g prime is equal to negative 18x 2 minus x squared to the power of 8. Alright, so we've got everything we need for our product rule equation, so I'm just going to plug in the stuff now. So, okay, so there you go. I filled all the things that we just found in. So this was my f prime, this was my g, f, and then g prime. So just put those into the formula, right? So now I'm going to stop using different colors because it takes a long time more than anything. So as we go down to the next one, this might be the trickier part. I'll just make green to make it same. Second derivative of f is, now to simplify this thing, we need to pull out a common factor. And I'm looking at this, and probably the easiest common factor to take out. Oh, my pen stopped working. One sec. Okay, it's back. Probably the easiest common factor to pull out in this one. Well, there's a couple. I'm looking here and I see for like the numbers up front wise, well, minus 20. That's in both of these terms, right? It's in this term and it's in this term. So I'm going to pull out a minus 20. There's also another one. There's 2 minus x squareds, right? And this is to the power of 9. And 2 minus x squared to the power of 8. So the smallest of those powers, I can take out 8 of those. So I'm going to pull out 2 minus x squared to the power of 8. And then I'm going to start my brackets.
Sorry for the interruption.
So now I start the bracket and I say, okay, what do I have left in this term? Well, in this term, I've only got one 2 minus x squared left. So I'm going to write that down. So 2 minus x squared. Let's keep that in brackets. And then in this term, I've taken out the minus 20, but I've still got the x there. So I'm going to write, well, I'll leave the plus sign for now. So plus, I've still got the x there, and the minus x, let's say. Minus x. And then in this term, oh, sorry, I was thinking of the other x. This is positive because I was looking at this one, right? So that's where I got this x from, one right there. Sorry, I keep getting announcements right now. So that's the x I'm looking at right here. And then looking at this one, I've got another x too, right? And that negative is still there. So this would be like, negative x, I guess, still in there. And also that 18 is still there too, right? So technically, I guess I should have just went like this. Negative 18x. Better way to do it. So this is, you can tell this is going to turn into a subtraction. I'm just going to simplify what I have left here. So if I put this into brackets, and then did the distributive property, sorry, not the distributive property, I'm just going to collect these into my like terms in this one. So if I do that, I end up with minus 20, 2 minus x squared to the power of 8 still. And then just multiply by, if I simplify my x's here, so if you just expand this and just collect like terms, you end up with 2 minus 19 x squared. And then the last step, if you went f double prime of 1, because that was what the original question was, if you put 1 in place of these x's, what you end up with is 340. I think you guys can put those in though and figure that one out. So yeah, that's how you do that one. And you know what? I think I might, since these are all taking quite a while to do these videos, I'm going to make each individual video. So each question I'll just make a video. So I'll end that video there and I'll start the next one right now.